Oh, we are all in the wrong places, but we're going to get that fixed right now. Hi there, folks. Welcome to session 95 of The Forming. I am, of course, your DM of Doom. Oops, all brands, otherwise known as World Tree Quests. And your DM of Doom for today. With me today we have my lovely and my amazing cast. We have got Just Harry, we've got Patron of Chaos, and we've got Khadij Al-Kubra. Do I have anything I want to say before we start? I don't know, maybe. Let me think. Yes, I do. I do have some things I want to say before we start. First off, hello. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome to World Tree Quests. We're all good. We're all happy, and we all love doing TTRPG and nerdy shit. If you're here, everybody is welcome until we decide they're not. So if you're new here, welcome. We hope to keep you, and we've got a branch with your name on it to sit and listen to the stories we tell. However, if you prove yourself to be not deserving of that branch, we will sort the fuck off. But we hope that you're a nice person, and we hope that you'll stick around for all of the amazing stories we're going to tell. We're happy to have you, and you're more than welcome here. We do not judge based on any aspect of yourself, unless, of course, that aspect of yourself proves you to be a cunt. And I will say that word. I'm Scottish. We use it for everything. So, unless you prove yourself to be one of those, you're always welcome here. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can... Everybody is welcome longer if they bring Iron Brew Ouroboros, of course, because it is the greatest of nectars, the truest of sodas, the ultimate drink of all time, Iron Brew.
Iron Brew
Just for that, you get a premium seat on the World Tree Ouroboros. There are lots of different ways that you can support this channel. We are a small channel. We are continually trying to grow and trying to get people to come and see more of our stories. If you want to help us grow, there's a number of ways you can do that. Number one, grab the link to any of the shows you're watching and send it to people you think might enjoy it. Send it to people that you think might not enjoy it. I love making people angry, so send it to them too. Send it to your worst enemies. Send it to your grandmother. She might not be able to enjoy it, but she can at least do this for half an hour. How do I get it to work, son? You know, send it to everybody. There's also a bunch of other ways. You can support us in a number of ways. If you want to contribute non-financially by following our social medias, which is World Tree Quests everywhere. Whichever social media you're on, World Tree Quests, we have it. If you're of the means, and if you're of the mind to, and if you would like to support us financially, there's a number of ways you can do that as well, and I'm going to drop a wee link in there, because I'm not really going to talk about that. Like, if you want to do that, that's your choice. I'm not going to make anybody think they have to. Anything that is given, anything that is donated, anything that is subscribed is appreciated, but is absolutely not mandatory. We will never have anything behind a paywall here, at least viewership-wise. With that out of the way, guys, what happened last session on The Forming?
So much flirting from Asmodeus.
The horrific, egregious flirting of Asmodeus.
So much.
What a boy.
Offering aid on behalf of his darling Reverie. And also asking to make a possible contract, like a gig, basically. Not like oh, give me your soul kind of thing. But like, I have a job. If you do this, I will give you anything you desire, a boon. If not, well, then you don't get that offer, and then I'll try and find another way to get this thing I want.
And
So also got like free one night stand.
Can you remember the thing that he was asking you to go get?
An
The way we
unwritten
described it was
blank contract that had yet to be written payment out for
yeah, it was like a blank check.
said
Blank.
evil family of blood wizards.
I think it was from Mephistopheles or something.
It was
It was
from
from
Mephistopheles, who, despite being Asmodeus' closest advisor and dearest friend, is also his greatest rival. So yes, it was in fact a blank check written by the Bloodthorn family, written for the Bloodthorn family, sorry, by Mephistopheles.
Yeah. And as sus as it is, because, Lord of the Nine Hells and all that jazz, the contract itself actually seemed pretty above board. So, after a lot of delegation and asking questions, Reverie, Arya, and then also surprisingly, Eleiyon also signed. And we also get like a boon if we decide to either go the sneaky espionage route or if we decide to go like the party charm speak route. And I think everyone agreed we'd go in with the soon-to-be king and queen as their entourage at first, but then not like go to the presenting thing and we just dip and like go sneaky after.
Yes, we did indeed do that. Can you remember what the boons were?
I remember that if we went the party route, we'd get like a charm speak kind of thing, I think. And then if we went the sneaky
you would
route,
have advantage on all charisma-based ability checks.
Right. And
Persuasion.
I don't remember.
Persuasion, deception, that kind of thing. How talking the talk at a party. And if you went the espionage route, then Asmodeus promised some very physical infernal help.
Right, I forgot that one. And then afterwards, Kesley talked with Reverie, Arya talked with Zotali, and Eleiyon had a breakdown and talked with Kiernan.
Yeah.
And he was also offered in privacy, like, you guys give us a minute to talk in private, with Asmodeus, like he was offered basically like a chance of like, I will give you this power to try no strings attached for this number of days and see how you feel about it. It wasn't like the thing with Puck, it was like completely above board, but he still was like, not made this movie too many times, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. And then we got like a cutscene where Zotali ended up going straight to the man himself, who pointedly had ignored him the entire conversation, and then asked if he could sign the contract as well. And if anyone remembers any other details, please fill in, but that's what I remember at least.
I would like to be very clear, Zotali did not ask to sign the deal. Zotali said that he wanted to make a deal.
Oh.
Just to be very clear on that. Just to be very clear.
Good to note.
But yeah, all of that's pretty much correct. So, we left off with this amazing, lovely party going to their rest and preparing for the next day. As the sun rises, I'd like to go to Khadija first with Arya. Arya, as you awake, you immediately become... when the grogginess of waking up in the morning leaves, you become aware of the fact that you are not alone in your room.
I'll get up from where I was sleeping on the floor, because I don't like sleeping in those cubby holes. They make me claustrophobic. And I will try and like slyly grab my bow, at least just in case. And can I check to see who's around, or if I can like, if it's an invisible thing, or...
You can indeed. I'm not even going to make you roll. They're sitting at the end of your bed.
Who is it?
You don't recognize them.
What do they look like?
They have very, very red skin. They have a... How would I characterize it? They have... I wouldn't say bat-like, but draconic-looking wings, but no scales. By that, what I mean is they are tipped with barbed hooks, so to speak, and they have a membrane between thin, spider-like appendages. A tail coils around from where they're sitting, and they have very long, very, very dark black hair. You can make out a very, very strange style of horn, which seems to come in a complete circle, meeting in the middle at the top of their head, where it glows permanently, very warm, burning with hellfire.
Okay. I'm gonna cast a quick this one? I have detect evil and good, so I can detect if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of me.
Oh, you
And
can
also-
detect a fiend.
Oh, okay. But they don't seem to be doing anything malicious right now, just sitting there.
They're just sitting there. They're back to you.
Okay. Back to me?
They have their back turned to you.
Are they looking at something in particular?
No, they seem to have their head facing down.
Does it sound like they're sleeping, like snoring or anything like that? Are their
No.
eyes closed? Okay. Well, in for a penny and for a pound. Ari's just gonna give a very tentative, good morning. Can I help you?
They seem hesitant, and they do flinch a little when you speak, before eventually they answer back. I don't know if you can help, Arya. And then they'll turn around to face you, and their face is very recognizable. But the features are very much the same. They are their features. But last you saw them, they didn't have horns, they didn't have black hair, and they definitely weren't red. As you can see,
Same.
Zoltatli.
Same full violet eyes.
No. Red eyes. Black scleras, red irises, black slits for pupils.
So Tommy?
He nods.
I immediately go up from the floor and sit next to him on the bed and take his hand. Like, are you okay? What? How? What? I'm gonna need a little explanation. It's a lot in the morning before breakfast. Are you okay? First of all, no pain or anything?
No, I'm not in pain. I'm fine. I didn't know how to tell you other than to just do it and then show you.
You went to talk to Asmodeus, didn't you? When you were talking about deals, what just
Yes.
You didn't trade anything that was like really important, like your soul or anything for this, right? Because that's, or was it like the contract with the job, or?
I gave Asmodeus my magic. The magic I had from being what my father was.
Was it worth it? Are you happy with the trade-off?
He said to me that he would take it. He would take that away from me. He would take away the taint that my father had left me with. But in return, I had to be something. Nothing can be nothing, and no one can be nothing. They have to be something. So he made me. And he looks at his hands, and as he puts his hands up, his nails are pointed black. He made me a cambion. A soldier of the Nine Hells. I'm a devil. I think my days of wearing tunics are gone. And he kind of looks up towards the circular horn that he has.
Was we're about next that don't have to go over, but well, regardless, and she almost hesitantly, but like with a little bit of blush, she like kind of presses her hand to his chest over his heart and asks, and looking him in the eyes. But it's still you in there, right? Regardless of, it's still you.
He promised me that my mind would be my own, everything about me would be my own.
You didn't answer my first question. Are you happy with this, or at least contented? Did you get what you wanted?
I am the closest to being happy that I've been in a long time.
That, and I hope this leads to an easier time of you finding more happiness. So, you deserve that. I'm sorry, I realized I was putting that on you for a long time. Sorry, should have asked this. Wow, what a way to wake up in the morning.
Yes, sorry.
No, I should have asked first. Are you hungry? Do you want to get some breakfast?
I would.
I should probably get out of my sleep unit first. Do you mind just...
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, no.
He gets up and moves to the door to leave.
I'll meet you outside.
Okay. Opens the door, slips out.
I'm just gonna do my quick morning yoga, get dressed, and get my stuff all together. And real quick, I am gonna try working a little bit on my song before I go out and meet him for breakfast.
Okay.
I think the thing that Arya wants to focus on with this part of her song is kind of with this, and then with like everything that happened at the end of like what happened with the human city, that sense of like choice and belief, and the things that we choose to believe in, we choose to hope in, and that kind of get us through the day. And make us want to keep moving forward, like the things we put our trust in, and that sense of like what we choose to believe in, what we choose to find hope in, and see if she can kind of focus on that, like from with Zatali and his choice, with their party's choice to like put a little bit of like this, not necessarily trust, but like sign it, agree with this contract with Asmodeus, and like with the humans' belief that they and choice to leave their home to find something better, and to leave with what gives them hope and what gives them belief, and see if she can find something in that can be a positive connecting thread between people when they hear music and hear this part of the song.
Okay.
And maybe what she chooses to believe in as well, with the greater thing.
Okay. Roll me a performance check.
Okay. That's 17 plus 12.
So that is a total of 29. I'd say that the music comes from you very easily. You're able to put almost perfectly onto paper what you intend with this particular piece that you're trying to write.
Get my violin and maybe grab the sheet music, the other sheet music I've once done it. I'll go back out and say, Zatali, ready when you are. I remember passing by this really good smelling stall in the main area for food. We can go there. Maybe I can pick up my brooch too. Anything in particular you'd be in the mood for to eat?
No, I'm okay.
Well, if you think of anything, just let me know.
I will.
Hey, Zatali? When
Yes?
you get the chance, I know we've got a lot of stuff we've got to do, but when we get the chance, I don't know if you remember, but I had sort of made a promise to you that next time we meet up, if you got the chance, I would play a song just for you. I'd like to keep that promise at some point. If you wouldn't mind that, if not, I can. It's not a problem. I might burn a little something for you. But if it's not something that you sound interested in, or if it's a little silly, I mean, I did pinky promise, but
I would like that.
Great. Let's go get some food.
Yes, food. That would be nice. And he will stand and gesture to the door.
The gentleman. I'll go towards the door. And yeah, I guess we'll head out. And I'll keep my ear out for if I get that sending from the lady, from the Lily Guild lady for my commission. And we'll go find some place to eat.
Fantastic. I now open it to our other two members of the party. When you guys wake, it's beautiful. Sound of bird song and the wind blowing through the trees. It's gorgeous. What'd you guys do with your morning?
Ladies first.
I think Reverie gets up, she makes Kessely's his like allergy tea, and then she goes to braid his hair. As is their morning ritual.
Of course.
And then when she's done with that, she kind of just finds a place that's quiet and dark and starts doing like yoga.
Kessler's will join in. Seems like the kind of thing he would do.
Yoga in the dark? Absolutely.
I feel like Sheila would like puppy yoga. She likes dogs.
Nothing else for you at all?
No, not really. I think that's kind of just she wants a quiet morning after last night.
Okay.
Like rezen herself.
Then I will give you your quiet and calm morning, and I will choose not to be cruel to you. Eleiyon, what about you?
With everything that happened yesterday, I think Eleiyon only knows one way to try and process feelings. So he's going to take himself into a more secluded spot and kind of begin that very slow, rhythmic repetition of shadow fighting. Finding somewhere where he can slowly practice and then eventually kind of speed up. But instead of that like joyful focus, it just gets more and more and more angry and more and more and more upset. And he is, in place of like spins and dance, there is like strikes of rage to the point where he's almost losing his grip. And instinctively
Like the point where Anakin becomes Darth Vader.
Yeah. And
okay, cool.
He instinctually is like holding his hand out from the time he used to be able to cast ranged magic and nothing is coming out, and it's making him more frustrated. And it eventually ends with him just on a half spin throwing the swords into the floor. Just kind of looks at the trees and recenters himself. We have made mistakes, but we must remember, all power offered is not power gained. It's not a good idea. It is not a good idea. What if it is? And then he will pick the swords up, kind of admire the dragon motif on them, and then go grab breakfast.
As you turn to leave where you've been training, Harahal is standing watching you. I know it's not within our purview as proteges to question our mentors, but should I expect you having conversation with your swords to be a regular occurring event, or is this a one-time?
Things that aren't supposed to talk back at me more than I would like to admit, yes.
Permission to speak bluntly, sir.
That is always granted, you are aware.
Eleiyon, are you okay?
Not really, but Good soldiers follow orders, no?
I would like to challenge you to a duel.
That is very cute, but you are not at that level yet, I'm afraid.
I guarantee you in this manner of duel I am quite your equal. In fact, in several cases I dare say I'd probably be your better.
Well, if it's a duel with suitors at parties, I'm afraid you might be correct, but otherwise, no.
Nothing
Not
quite
so
so nothing quite so lascivious, I assure you. I'd like you to drink tea with me.
What?
If you're not up to the challenge, I will happily accept your surrender.
That's not a challenge. That is a menial breakfast activity that provides no nourishment and it tastes terrible. That is not.
Perhaps if it is so beneath you, then it should be absolutely no issue to you.
No. Nothing is beneath me. Nothing is beneath me. I see your plan trying to coy me, play on my ego. Well, currently my emotions are in the fucking ground, and it's not going to get the damn tea out.
He just gestures inside. He says, "The tea's in here."
Will
take you. He takes you inside where there is two chairs, a table, two small cups, and a fairly large teapot.
Oh, planned, I see.
The rules are simple. When you step inside the dueling square, you step in as equals. There is no master, there is no student, there is no protege, there is no mentor. We each pour tea from one another. And then we drink. And we converse as equals. Anything said at this table is only between us. Nothing ever leaves this table. Whatever we speak of, we do not speak of again unless at this table.
This table specifically, or any future tables that we can redesignate?
This table specifically, it's my own possession.
Oh, understood.
You see, it's like a small square, little wooden angles and such show that it can be folded up.
Mm-hmm.
His name is engraved on the side.
In the last samurai vibes, and I'm here for it.
Absolutely. Challenge accepted, I suppose. Is there a designated seat?
No. In fact, as the person who issued the challenge, it is for you to choose to sit first.
Oh, sit down.
Okay. He sits down, he picks up the teapot, and he pours tea for you. He pours it perfectly, not a drop spilled. He then places the teapot down and rotates it so that the handle is facing towards you.
Pour him tea.
While you pour, you are mid-pour, when he says, "Why are you angry?"
I will finish the pour and kind of set it down. Is it part of the rule of the game that I have to be honest?
Honesty is encouraged, but it's not a necessity. However, we are supposed to be equals. I know you would be honest when speaking to someone like Kernan.
I feel like I have made mistakes. That much is definitely certain. And I have made mistakes that, while have in minor ways benefited me, have cost the people we travel with quite a lot. And in my reparations for that, I have lost all of the power I have come to behold. I have broken the oath to my people and all the people I serve. I have been cast into the darkness and exiled from my lands. I thought if one point of expertise I would have that they would listen to would be making mistakes. And it seems that I fall on deaf ears. And that makes me fucking angry.
I share in this anger. You speak words of sense, and very often they don't pay attention.
Hmm.
What would you do if it were a trainee?
Not listening?
Yes.
I teach them to.
How?
I'd put them in situations where leaving them on their own without my advice would cause a mistake and then teach them how to fix it.
You'd allow them to face the consequence of their actions and come to the error of their own ways by themselves.
Yes, but a trainee does not make deal with devils. He faces dummies that swing back. He fights a quartermaster and he doesn't remember his guard, but he does. Such things aren't irreparable.
So what you're saying is that you are not dealing with trainees.
Life would be much simpler if I was dealing with trainees.
I agree. But you agree you're dealing with people who are perhaps as experienced as you? Not perhaps in the same fields. But maybe you have to just let them suffer the consequences of their actions.
But as people I have grown a sense of responsibility for, isn't it wise to steer them from a course that has irreparable consequences?
Do you have empirical evidence that it is irreparable?
I don't like it when you make sense.
I only speak with the lessons I was taught by my mentor.
Well, whoever he is sounds very wise, as we
He
are currently
is.
equals.
He is very wise. Slightly emotional, but wise. But I also view him as a friend.
I'm sure that feeling is reciprocated.
He has a very, very strange way of showing it then, but I'd like to think so too. He will lift up his tea, take a sip, put it down. You speak of power, and the power you lost, and the power you gained, and the power you lost again. Is it truly power if it's something that can be lost or gained? Is it not just borrowed?
Yes. But borrowed power is still power.
Then what if you find power of your own?
How would I do that?
Half of a millennia ago, Kernan was a woodcutter. Half a millennia ago, Reverie was a Autumn Court Fae. Now she is a champion of what I understand to be a fledgling deity orchestrated around death. Arya, half a century ago, she was a naive young girl who had benefited from, albeit a very sheltered and caged life, but a life of wealth and reciprocity. Now she's her own being. She has come strides. Kesselis was a young boy scared of his shadow, and now he's the only person in our group, I believe, to have bested you in a duel. Albeit, I believe, mostly by beginner's luck, but he still did it.
I I chose to slap him 4 times. It was given. He needed the confidence.
Every single one of them has changed over those years. They've all developed their own power. And that power may not be physical power or even magical power. They have power nonetheless. I believe you also have changed. You've also built and you've also gained power rather than lose it. You've just gained a different type of power.
Right, but the power I currently wield terrifies me. Using it
That's all.
feels cold and painful. It's almost like I'm being watched at all times. It's dark.
Then how do you think you can change that?
Good fucking luck. A
So we
lot of
pursue.
money on expensive equipment.
Will money genuinely solve your issues?
Solve the issue of having no money. But I see your point. I understand. But 500 years ago, I was the greatest prodigy in the Summerlands. I was arguably in the top 5 swordsmen in the Fey realm at peak. I was an agent of summer with my sister. We were sent on missions of espionage and great importance, and now I'm just me.
Just you.
Just me. I mean,
You defied the Summer King.
where did that get me?
You're the only person that I know of who's ever done it and lived. You looked at the man who had given you everything and said, "No, I won't help you do evil." And you walked away and you lived. And he knows you're alive. You must understand this. He knows that you are alive.
I'm aware.
So every day that you live is a slap in the face to him. Every day you live is reminding him that someone defied him and is able to continue defying him. As
If
for
he
your
wanted
swordsmanship
me dead-
skills, I estimate you to currently be within the top 3 right now. The only people I would put above you, one of them is currently an undead walking machine, and the other one was raised alongside and trained personally by that undead walking machine. So I'd say you're in fairly good company.
Well, the alive one, I reckon I could get lucky at this point.
I don't think he technically counts anymore either, because from what I've understood, he's switched to using a spear.
Why? Anyway, that's not the point. Spears are so wooden.
The point I make is I think that you're exceptionally critical of yourself. And that when you look at it from empirical values, with a non-biased eye, I have a feeling you are more powerful than you give yourself credit for.
It's rather ironic, isn't it, considering I hold such an air of confidence.
Confidence is just arrogance rooted in fact.
I'm definitely arrogant.
No, you are confident. The things that you claim arrogance about are factual. Kesselis and I discussed you at great length, and we both agree that you are a very impressive person.
You are not the first person to tell me that.
Kesselis does not like you because you hold obvious affection for the person he deems as his adoptive mother.
Hold on. Hold on. Obvious? Nothing's obvious. It is at best mildly subtle. Nothing's obvious. If it even exists, your fantasy. I need to put you on more training sessions so you have less time to imagine it.
If
Your
you would
flights fantasy are getting out of control, friend.
then speaking as your friend, I would encourage you, should you harbour affections for Miss Reverie, act upon them. And if you don't harbour affections for Miss Reverie, then I think that you should explore what you really wish to say to her.
It's a bit difficult when she hates me. Her words, not mine.
That one I will give you. You are very correct. I do not want to see you drive yourself into a point where you cannot function because of your self-loathing and hatred. Because I enjoy being your trainee. I have learned much since you have chosen to allow me to travel with you, and I will continue to learn. But also because you are my friend. Also, I have something to confess.
Go ahead.
I have stolen something that does not belong to me.
From me?
He will go into his pack and he'll take out a box that was taken from the Hall of Dragons.
Okay.
And it's the box that held a certain sword.
Okay.
While everyone slept, I looked into this more.
Right.
I believe you should wield this.
I respectfully completely fucking disagree.
Would you agree, empirically, that given the current standing of Summer Eladrin soldiers, you're within at least the top 5 greatest warriors? Born of Summer. Not necessarily loyal to, but born of Summer.
I've always been loyal to Summer. I still am.
Good. Well then. Would you agree with that? I'll go so far as to say those who are currently alive.
I assume we're excluding the Lord King himself from the rankings.
Well, I've never seen him fight. I've always known him to be a backseat commander. But let's say we include him as well.
Right now? Including him? I put myself to.
Very well. Sun swords. Sun blades. Blades of light, whichever you wish to call them. They were made for the best of the best. This one was made with summer and autumn in mind. You are currently hailed as one of the heroes of the Twin Raid, yes?
We're like heroes as a stretch.
Well, that is what they call you, is it not? Heroes of the Twin Siege, heroes of the Twin Raid, heroes of Autumn.
But it's not mine.
Whose is it? With the
Reverie has
greatest,
more claim to it than me.
with the greatest of respect to Reverie, and I say that with full intent of how much I truly respect Reverie. This is a sword designed for a warrior. Very capable Reverie is indeed. Very, very capable. But a warrior she is not. Reverie herself actually gave you permission to look at this blade, to carry this blade. Did she not?
Well, I did ask nicely.
I do not think that Reverie would give you permission to carry that blade if she did not think there was a possibility you would choose to wield it. These blades were made for the best of the best. You have already said you are the best of the best. This blade was made for a hero of Autumn. You are a hero of Autumn. I am also a hero of Autumn, and I do consider myself to be one of the best. So if you don't want to wield it, I'll happily do so.
Hold on. You did steal it from me. It does not seem fair that you now gain.
So if I'm stealing it from you, you consider it your possession then. So then you will choose to wield it.
Wielding and holding it in my backpack are two very different things. I was waiting until I'm ready. Because right now, I'm not ready.
When we first met, and I spoke about my family lineage and wanting to achieve greatness, you said to me that sometimes people are born great, and sometimes people have greatness thrust upon them. You then made a disparaging comment about you apparently being someone who had greatness thrust upon them. I believe you to be both. I believe entirely in fate. I don't curry with gods, and I don't curry with archfey, I don't curry with dragons. I do curry with fate. And I wholeheartedly, empirically, believe that you were born fated to do great things. I also believe that in some cases, and he will pick up the blade, or the hilt, and he will take your hand, and he will shove it incredibly forcefully, making a point with it into your hand. I do believe in cases where your self-deprecation and self-loathing get in your way, that you must have greatness shoved at you. Then he will lift up his tea and drink the rest of it and place it down, saying, "As I have finished my tea, I no longer have right to speak. So anything you can say, I cannot interrupt, and I cannot retort. So I am fully at your advantage." And then he stops talking.
We kind of look at the hilt. Thank you. Thank you. I will drink the rest of my tea and make a face because it tastes terrible.
How fucking dare you?
I'm sure his tea tastes great. Ellie does not like tea.
Ah.
That concludes our duel, I believe.
It does. I do also conclude that you are the victor.
When I did talk the most.
If
That
only
was
it
the
was
point,
that.
right?
No, it wasn't. It is said that whoever walks away with the greatest approach to life, new, old, or otherwise, is the victor. Mine is unchanged. I do believe yours is, whether you want to admit it or not.
Well, yeah, now I have a cool sword back. So I'm at least richer. So I must win. That's got to be how it works. I spoke the most. I got my sword back. And you are going to be running 10 extra laps every morning now.
10 extra laps.
While I do appreciate your wit, all those evil notions about feelings, no one taught you to think those. So those must be worked off. And I'll give him the smile of, you are running 10 laps, but I do appreciate it.
He will smile and he will say, very well. I will run 10 extra laps every morning.
Until you stop putting evil notions in my head.
Absolutely.
I'll stand up, give him a pat on the back, and make my way out of the bus. Or wherever the table is situated. I didn't actually ask.
It's just in a room off of the courtyard where you happen to have found a place to train.
Yeah, I'll tap him and make my way out.
Awesome. Going to the party as a whole now. Eventually you guys are able to go to breakfast. As this is your first serving of a royal breakfast, in spring, breakfast is, especially for those of the heightened echelon of spring courts, breakfast is a pretty large and serious affair. Sausage. 2 kinds. Well, actually, 3 kinds. Blood sausage, pork sausage, and beef sausage. Because here in Scotland and Ireland, we eat beef sausage. It's called lawn, and it's in squares, and it's fucking tremendous.
That sounds delicious.
It's fucking great, by the way.
Also, reassuring to know, I will have
Elliot.
a non-pork option for sausages when I eventually someday go to Scotland.
Oh, we do. Look, see, that's what I'm saying. We have beef sausages. They are just beef.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad to hear that. I didn't know those were a thing. I thought it was just blood sausages.
No, square
My
sausage.
ignorance.
Square sausage.
Sweet.
If you're ever in Scotland, you just call it a rolling square or a rolling slice, and they'll
Good to know.
give you a bread roll cut in half, buttered, with just a square sausage on it, and it's fucking delicious. It's the best
That
sausage
sounds
ever.
it. Bread and meat, it's hard to go wrong.
Sausages, bacon, eggs. There is. I don't know if you guys have potato scones over in America.
Do you mean like hash browns?
No. Potato scones. It's like potato and flour mixed together, bound into triangle shapes, and then you
It's
fry
like a
them.
croquette.
No.
Or even I don't know
We have something similar. Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, if you look up a potato scone, or as we call them, tatty scone,
Sounds
You'll see what I'm
delicious.
talking about. They're fucking beautiful. My wife loves them. She's obsessed with them. She thinks they're the best thing since fucking buttered bread. But yeah, potato scones, Irish farrels, or potato cakes as they're called, black pudding, white pudding, fruit pudding. Fruit pudding's weird. I'll understand if nobody ever eats that. All kinds of amazing fruit and nuts and this really weird thick white stuff which Kernan calls yogurt. Which he says is really good, but you have to mix things in with it or it's quite plain. Pots of honey and jams made from wild fruits nearby. Not to mention there's also marmalades made from orange, lemon, and some other thing which is green.
I have asked 3 different servers if they have the medieval equivalent of baked beans.
Let's let the dice decide. On a 1 to 10, there are no baked beans. On an 11 to 20, there are baked beans. I'm praying for a 1 to 10 because I hate baked beans.
I fucking love baked beans.
That's a fucking nat 20. Of all the fucking things to get a nat 20 on, it's on if there's fucking baked beans. Are you fucking shitting
You
me?
didn't even want it. That's a 1 for you.
Ari tries to get a little bit of everything, but mostly she goes for the sweeter stuff. And even though she knows from last time they were here, she didn't find any sweet potatoes, but she's gonna try again because who knows what else new has grown here in the last 600 years. Are there any like sweet or ash potatoes now that she knows that those are a thing? Darn
None.
it.
I'm convinced
Mashed
at this point
potatoes.
some random fey, like archfey god, has like 1 sweet potato in a time vault, and someone has seen it once, and they think they're
Are
the
you-
crazy. They tell like there's potatoes in a sweet. And now
Are you legit tells people about ash potatoes now that she's learned about them? Like, I
It's-
told you, y'all, that they exist somewhere in the world, somewhere in the universe, and I was right. Ha!
That's what you should use your
It's
wish
giving-
for from
It's giving the
Asmodeus.
Fae a nunke.
I have something else more important in mind for that.
No, we're not bringing Nunca into another person's game. Okay, that's not happening. Let's move on.
But my point still stands. I was right. They exist. So,
Ugh, sorry about that. As you all sit down to breakfast, there's a couple of fairly notable things. One, Zotali is now very devilish looking. Number
Good.
2, Kernan and Sheila are not present. Number 3, Dale Oakenhand is sitting at the seat that would usually be assigned to Kernan.
do we ask if our friends are okay, or just assume they're busy with king and queen stuff? I'd say to
the king and queen are in a deliberation right now,
Oh, okay.
dealing with some issues that have come up.
Okay.
They've sent their regrets that they cannot join you, and they do encourage you to treat this place as your home. They also won't be attending the ball tonight either. They have asked that you would go in their stead.
I'll lean over to Reverie and kind of like low whisper because I know we're amongst people. It's like, so has he out with us, like going as an entourage and like, sneaking off if we have to represent this?
I believe that would mean one of us would have to stay and represent the interests of the king and queen.
No, it's not it. Sorry, you know I'm not good with that court stuff.
It's okay. I think I could represent Sheila's role fairly well.
Are you sure? No, you're not a big fan of that stuff either.
If it looks rich, then I know she will probably like it unless it's gaudy. So yes.
That's true.
Kesselis will speak up and say, I'm also fairly aware of how Kernan would want this place to operate. I could stand in their stead as their representative. Wouldn't change your plans too much.
If I might be so bold, yes, you are a very intelligent man, but you would have to be able to think of the Reverie as your wife.
I thought that Reverie would be going to do the sneaky, stabby stuff with you guys while I did the hobnobbing.
The thing with representatives is I think one has to represent one. Right? So one person has to represent Sheila's will, the other one has to represent Kiernan's will.
Or I suppose one person who's adequate for both.
So I would have to have I'd have to, but yeah, maybe somebody else should do it. I don't.
I would not be adequate for either. I know my strengths, and I'm not going to let my friends down like that.
Yes, can you pass the baked beans?
They have baked beans?
Kesselis will lift up the small clay pot filled with baked beans in a tomato-based sauce.
Oh, that is one of the foods from summer I miss. Possibly, yeah.
I think I could be a decent representative for both. Kiernan is my best friend, and I'm also very close with Sheila.
Harahal will lean over and be like, do you think your companion for the evening will be able to remain how to say it diplomatically? Subtle? I mean, yesterday you two were, forgive the bluntness, about 2 seconds away from licking each other's faces.
I think what Harrow's trying to say is
it feels very accurate. So
Asmodeus is a very charismatic, sex-fueled, scene-creating cunt, and he is going to be a bit of an issue.
I was going to say horn dog, but yes, cunt is also acceptable.
That is also
Can
true.
we stop with the gross, sexy talk, please? I'm trying to eat breakfast. I don't want to gag it off. But they do make good points.
It's making
You're
my
in
breakfast.
spring. The person who cooked this has no shoes on.
So? They're not cooking with their feet.
How do you know? I've seen Kernan open windows with his feet.
But he doesn't handle food with his feet.
I must reiterate to you, I have seen this man eat with his feet.
I don't know why. I'm imagining some like overweight Springer Lodgren just like a loincloth been like, this is good.
It's different from sweaty, gross, sticky, air-making stuff.
Do you think that people that cook food over a giant fire don't sweat?
It's different from...
to change the subject.
Thank you.
Yes.
I believe he will make a very good distraction for what you guys are doing.
Sounds
Considering
like a plan.
he likes to, as you so eloquently put it, pause a scene.
Counter offer. I do it. I'm well versed in courtly manners. I was raised as minor nobility, so I know how to operate myself in court. I'm familiar with Kernan's wants, and while I may not agree with them, I have the ability to separate my logic and my wants from what is someone else's wants, and so therefore I would do it with integrity.
And who would be your date to represent Shield?
I can assure you I would not have an issue in procuring a date.
If that's the logic, then I could do it. It's not like you need to.
Okay, I think a good way to narrow it down is who would be the best at doing the sneaking. If we can narrow that down for sure, then that leaves.
I don't want to be that guy, but I do believe I am the best candidate for both.
To be fair, you are very good with court stuff.
I'm also an ex-spy.
That's also true. So
reverie is also slightly essential for going into subterfuge and for sneaking, as they can literally create darkness.
It is true. The only downside being my armor is rather clanky.
that's true. And also, isn't a lot of the stuff that you do, like with like the stepping and like the darkness stuff, more strong when it's at night?
Correct.
Well, in fairness, my armor is also rather clanky. I'm just very good anyway.
I'm completely covered with espionage. I am not good with court stuff, so.
Reverie's gonna be a child. My armor's very good. Rather clinky. I'm just very good anyway.
We also have to keep in mind we're also trying to find another thing on top of evidence. So, who would be good against that? Who could be good at that? It'd probably be good to have someone who's good with magic as well to help suss out wards and stuff like that. I'm decent at that, but not great.
Well, then I believe if you're looking for the best in those capabilities, that leaves our winter friend as going with the group who's doing the sneaking.
Cassius, would you be comfortable with that, or do you think you'd be more comfortable and better suited to helping with the representing in court?
I am much more happy looking at possible magic killing devices than I am trying to procure a date.
Then it looks like we're in a team. Yay!
Very quickly, don't want to be that guy again. While we're on the topic of assets and our party's skills, what the fuck happened to Zotali?
Oh, so Tony, do you...
Zotali's midway through cutting something, just kind of looks up like.
I'm looking at the sausage I didn't eat in fear.
Reverie is going to be like, are you serious? He obviously just got a sunburn.
So Tony, you want to tell them, or should I?
I followed Asmodeus into his realm, and then I made a deal.
Right.
I gave up any magical, biological reference to my father in order to be something new, and I was made into this.
Right. Great. Good. Yes. Great.
Eleiyon Salion, this was his choice, his free will.
Well, he made a dumb fucking choice. I apologize. The crown circle horn thing is gaudy. Your red does not suit you. The little glowing point is just irrelevant for a stealth mission because it's going to and
You're very correct. However, I can do this, and he's going to stick his finger up, and a little flame's going to.
Well, that solves everything.
I thought he was going to give him the middle finger and go, oh, well, I can do this.
The middle finger flames up.
They gave me this handy new weapon, look.
Okay, Okay, so maybe the stealth isn't where we go with Satan.
Well, he can't go on the. He can't go on the. Let's take him to the ball because he looks like he's going to eat the attendants.
I mean,
That
maybe
is
we could
also
discuss.
true.
We're going to have to hood him like a lantern and carry him through dark alleyways of death. That is the only option. He cannot attend the party.
You do know glamours exist, right? But fair enough. If that would be too much hoopla and trouble, then espionage it is. So then I guess you'd be with us. Besides, I know if I tried going to the courts, I'd muck it all up, and I wouldn't be able to find a date either, so. That work for you, Tommy? Espionage team?
Zoltali will stay quiet, still cutting up the food that he's got on his plate. Eat a bit of food. I agree with Eleiyon that I should not be going on the stealth mission. I should also not be part of the ball thing. So I will wait on the roof of their house in case any quick intervention is needed. I will be the go team, so to speak.
The scouts.
Yes, for lack of a better word, yes.
Alright. Well, I remember the group of bandits that tried Romy once telling me that having a lookout is always important in a caper, so that's great.
Then that is what I will be.
Why are you quoting the advice of a bandit team that unsuccessfully robbed you?
Well, they were actually just, really hungry and starving, and they turned out to be music lovers too, so I managed to get out, and we actually became really good friends. One of them even gave me this patch, and then taught me how to pick them up. And she'll show, a faded kind of, brown leather patch on her skirt, one of her earlier ones from before the party.
I'm going to turn to Harahel and give him the... You know when we talked about everyone's equal in experience? I'm starting to doubt your lecture.
He's cutting up his food too, and he looks up and goes, "Oh no, doubt."
Fuck you.
Okay, so we definitely got
I mean,
the espionage
I
team.
definitely don't think our relationship is there yet.
We still think
However,
that's important.
that is not the first time I've heard that over the breakfast table.
My man.
Fruit salad, really?
It's not my fault you're eating something which is covered in white stuff and is shaped like bowls.
It's also rather salty.
I pushed my bowl away.
He's going to reach over to your bowl, pick up a plum, and just...
Just leave it at cuddling and soft
you
kissing
truly
and
are.
just feelings.
You-
And just, ugh.
You truly are my greatest creation.
He's gonna look at Reverie and go, "I totally understand what you see in Asmodeus."
I think I've lost my appetite.
He's gonna just turn back to you and go, "Oh, Arya, do hush." Oh no, you stuck out your tongue. But yet you said to leave nasty talk at the dinner table.
Just slap my face on the table.
He's just like, he just kind of grins and leans over to Reverie like, "It's so easy to mess with her."
Yes, it is.
Flip of the bird.
I want to go with Reverie.
To which part?
You're going to need a smooth talker who can talk his way into or out of any situation. And my dear, while you do have the presence, you do not have the tongue.
I I hate that I actually got that one.
Aria, that one wasn't.
Oh, never mind then. Hey,
Hold on.
Well,
In a way, it could be perceived as such.
I grew up with 4 older brothers. You think I wasn't going to hear some things?
also, Asmodeus is going to be the most drawn to the team with you on it, and we have some things to discuss.
All right.
In my stead, in combat prowess, I will leave my protege.
He will look up. Oh, you mean me?
Who else did I mean? Vigilance?
I mean, you do have a penchant for talking to inanimate objects, so...
He also does listen more than you do.
That's fair. I'm better looking than him.
That is very untrue.
Would he... let me roll something. Fucking
I'm wanting to
Harahal.
correct this answer so much.
Harahal, you let me down.
Even Sheila called Vigilance cute. That's what I'm holding on to.
I mean, he is fluffy.
He's a big boy.
He's
He's a
a
good doggo.
boy.
He's a good doggo.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, those going on the stealth mission, i.e. breaking in through the basement and robbing this family blind, is going to be Harahal, Kesselis, Arya, and Zotali, while Eleiyon and Reverie and Asmodeus do the courting of the nobility above.
Evidently so.
Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what the party is agreeing?
I believe so.
I think so.
Dale is going to look over you all. And then... Alright then. Not the ideal setup I'd have liked, but... At least it's a decision.
Well, if you had an ideal idea, you could have spoken up at any point.
Oh no, I was far too entertained by you lot going at each other like school children.
Well, any sort of, inputs would be great, teacher. If we are school children. Teach the class.
What?
Joke's on you. I was homeschooled.
One of your party, one of your groups is going to be walking into a bloodthirsty minefield with traps and tricks around every corner. The possibility of being sliced apart in all manner of visceral ways could be one wrong footstep away. And one group will be going into the basement.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
I think the ones going into the basement are going to get the best deal out of this.
Well, weirdly, I think we will be okay, because we have a literal devil with us tonight.
Who now?
Zotali's going to kind of look confused and then go, "Oh, me? Yes, yes. I don't know what I can do yet, just to be clear."
Should we maybe spend the afternoon figuring that one out?
That's probably
Yes,
a good
maybe.
idea.
I don't think this is going to be much help in combat. And it does the little finger flame thing again.
Flick
Well?
it.
Not in the palace.
There's a lot of wood around here. Maybe.
Flicks
Maybe
it,
we
flicks it, it lands on Kesselis's plate. Plate goes up and he's like, "I was enjoying that."
Here, you can have my plate.
Maybe we save the testing for when we're not in a literal tree house. But I'd be happy to spend the afternoon kind of like testing things out. We can get creative with it. Think outside the box. Having a better sense of what you've got going could be better than going blindly in.
I think
Reverie,
yes, Ellen.
I will have to go shopping, so don't miss me. Um, I'm aware
Don't
that you were given a
go
dress. I'm gonna have to go get something.
don't go to the Bloodthorns place.
And don't go to the Lily Thorn. I do have to pick up my brooch from there, but
Their clothes, fantastic. She will shank you with a needle and take your blood.
It is rather attractive.
fantastic artistry skills and seemingly very nice, but will prick you and take your blood with a jewel club. So, wouldn't recommend trying
I
that.
am going to procure us an emergency exit.
That
Mhm.
sounds like a good idea. I'll go practice with Sotali to figure out his powers more and pick up my brooch, and then maybe we can spend 10 minutes before we go into the ball. I can cast an inspiration that will give us a bit of a boost just in case. More energy. It'd take about 10 minutes, hey, but it's come in handy before. And who knows what we're going to be walking into.
Very well. Well, with that decided, we move on to the next options. Or the next steps, I should say. Now, the next part is going to, and at that point, the doors are going to open, and a messenger is going to come in. They're going to walk up to Dale and hand him a piece of paper. It's written in blue ink, and as Dale takes it and opens it, Arya, I have news here. I don't quite know how to.
Hey,
Yes. This comes from an emissary of winter. It would appear your brother, Saren, who is there, he and some pupils were on a dig in the far northern frozen wastelands, and the dig capsized. So he's currently missing.
I immediately cast Ascending to Soren.
Your sending does not go through. Not that the spell doesn't work. It does not get received. Something on the other end stops it.
Something. I could drop in my something. Reverie, do you have the scrying spell again still?
I did not prepare that today, as I had the party to prepare for. But I'm sure I can check tomorrow, first thing.
Yeah, if it's not too much trouble.
No. I mean, we were going. Winter was one of the places on the list after this, right? Because it's
Yeah.
close. So,
Yeah, but it's gonna,
you know, if we can see where he's at, and then I can send a message to someone over in Winter, so that way they know where to look for a rescue, I can do that.
Right. I don't know. Breakfast. I'll leave you guys. Is there anything else we need to talk about with plans?
Revery's gonna like reach out and grab Arya's. Your brother's very smart. Oh, he's gonna be okay.
She squeezes her head back. Yeah, he survived my father's abuse. He's tougher than he looks. I hadn't like that. And he and I wouldn't know it, but I said she'll take her hand back and just kind of rub the engraving on Heaven's Herald that says never know fear without understanding why, and just I'll see you like to Tali for testing your powers and stuff. Sorry, excuse me, please. And she'll just kind of head out the room and see this a little bit.
Okay. As that happens, and as you guys are able to do that, we are now approaching our halfway mark. So I think now is a good point to take our 15-minute break. 15-20 minutes. And we come back and we go to, pardon me, Arya to see what they're leaving to do before we move on to the ball at the Bloodthorn Manor. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will see you in 15-20 minutes after our break. Hi everybody, we're back. Just while we get some wee things set up, we're just going to finish a wee conversation we've been having about our favourite types of villains, because it's quite a good wee chat. Harry, you were saying.
Yeah, no, I love those villains that think that they are completely invincible because they have all the control, and then they put it on almost like a performance. Like, funny enough, he was a Camian named Trifecta, whose whole thing was like, I had this whole setup from like the final boss fight was going to be an arena with like hundreds of devils in it laughing at you while you were like kind of orchestrates almost like a Colosseum fight.
Right.
Like, I don't know why, but charming villains, they feel hateable more. They feel like...
My favourite type of villain is the meek and cowering villain who just in the blink of an eye just changes. Like,
Yeah.
so the way I wrote Puck when I first used him was, you know, he was the little mischief spirit, he was the trickster, and he was the party guide, and he was like, yeah, do this and do that, and if you do this will happen and stuff. And then at one point when they were like, hey, yeah, we got all the things that you wanted, here they are, and he was like, excellent, fantastic. You're all so easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Pop a smile, dance around, wave around some shiny objects, and you guys think that you have the upper hand. Is that really all it took?
Yeah.
That's my favourite type of villain. I always liken it to a really old Xbox game called Fable.
Yeah.
Jack of Blades.
Yeah, for real.
That man... I think the two greatest villains in all of fantasy. One is marginally better than the other. And that is Arthas Menethil, the Lich King from World of Warcraft. Followed very, very closely by Jack of Blades from Fable. I think they're the two greatest villains. Really underrated villains as well. Like Jack of Blades, if you say your top 10, top 10 villains of fantasy games, very rarely will somebody say Jack of Blades, but man, he is menacing. He is absolutely cold. And the way he puts you in a position that he knows for a fact he's got you on, he's like, you can absolutely kill me right now. You can take that sword right there and run me through and I will be dead. But in order to get that sword to its maximum power, you have to kill a hero. And the only two heroes here right now is you or your sister. So do you know what? Go. Take the blade. I dare you. He's so cold. He's so cool. I love him. I love Jack of Blades. If you're watching, just for the sake of seeing some comments, who's your favourite fantasy villain? Who's your favourite villain? Go for it. Drop it in the comments. Go for it. We promise we will judge you harshly. Nah, I'm totally kidding. Just, curiosity. Tell us who your favourite villain is.
Across the board on mediums, like it could be comics, books, video games, RPGs.
Fantasy in general. Fantasy of any medium. Right. We left off. We were going back to Arya. Now, Arya, you got up and you left the table. Okay. Where do you go?
I think I go wherever there is a clear spot to if the town itself is too crowded and too noisy busy and there's not a place I can play music, then I'll go somewhere a little more private, or I don't stray too far from my friends because I know we got stuff to do, but I try to find a place where I can like play because Arya just got some very like uncertain and possibly bad news, and she has a lot of emotions tied to that because she has a complicated relationship with all her brothers, and even though she's always loved them, like she always had that distance because of how they grew up. And Sauron she always wanted to be more close with, but just because of like what happened with their dad and when he left and just his nature as a person, like they never got a chance to. And she is worried but trying to be hopeful, but she still has that like she feels like she's about to cry and she needs to get out her emotions, and the healthiest way she always does that is through music. So she wants to find a place to play and get out her feelings and then let them go and continue to hope for the best. Am I able to find a place to do that and play or move about?
Oh yeah, easily. The gardens and the royal palace are huge.
Okay, so I'll go to the gardens and she will find. Actually, she doesn't use a rhythm this time. She just plays out her feelings and dances around, and it's this kind of very somber song with uncertainty and hope and also sadness, and kind of it's almost like more like trying to reach out to someone that you're not sure is still there to hear you, but hoping that they will. And she dances in like this combination of like ballet and contemporary, and as she's dancing she casts a minor illusion of like, you know, like when snow looks like clumped on the trees and it almost like looks like a flower. She casts like illusions of like these snow flowers dancing around her, and maybe they take the shape of her brother too, and just like kind of them moving together and actually being connected in a way that she always wished they were. And she plays with all her emotion regardless of who hears or like who's around, and just as she's playing she's crying a little and just letting herself feel. And the song will sound like a violin cover of Hello by Evanescence. And when she's done playing, the snow blossoms will dissipate and she will finish her final pose, and there's tear tracks down her eyes and her eyes are a little puffy, but she takes a breath and just lets it go and chooses to hope and not be afraid without understanding why. And just prays to the greater hand that her brother is okay after all.
Okay. Give me a religion check.
Okay. Sorry, let me pull up my stat for that. I don't normally roll religion. I'll go with you. Bismillah. Oh, that's the wrong dice. Jeez. Here we go. Oh, is that a 19 plus 2, so dirty 20.
19 plus 2 is 21.
Oh, my bad. Math.
On a 21, as you reach out to the greater hand, for the first time you feel something back. Not much, just something. It feels like pressure like here. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, it's something, and she takes comfort that the greater hand was at least listening. And yeah, she chooses to continue to hope. And I will go back to find my friends or Zatali, because we need to work on figuring out his new powers and stuff. And she doesn't try to hide the fact that she was crying. They'll see that her eyes are puffy and red and the tear tracks. She is not afraid to feel and show that she feels. But yeah, she feels lighter, like she always does after playing out her feelings.
Okay. as you make your way back into the you make your way back to the table. At this point, Dale says, "Until tonight, you're free to do as you wish. Then, if you're still intending on going to this ball, carriages will come for you. Good night. Or, well, good morning, but you know what I mean. I'll see you all
Thank you,
later
Dale.
tonight."
Thank you, Dale.
And he'll get up and he will leave, leaving you all to do whatever you need to do before the event tonight. So I put it to the party. Is there anything you guys want to do, need to do before the event?
Work with Zotali, and definitely I want to get my brooch from the jewelers. She said
Okay.
she could cast Descending, but I want to at least check to see if it's ready to pick up. And yeah, just figuring out Zotali's powers.
Okay. Eleiyon?
I will take a very quick errand to go get a new outfit. Rather than that, no.
Okay. And Reverie?
Reverie's on a little mission, a mini mission.
Okay.
She is looking for a spot that kind of feels like death.
Okay.
Something that's kind of dark, kind of that quiet sadness of grief.
Okay. Very easy. There's a garden of remembrance. It's filled with
there-
trees. Is
Okay,
there what? What is it you're looking for there?
Is there like a dark stone there, perhaps?
Yeah, we could say that. It is surrounded by a stone wall, and at each of the corners of the stone wall there is a large, dark, rounded stone.
Okay. I am going to. Reverie's going to try to do that thing that she did before with that rock that the Raven Queen gave her.
The what did the Raven Queen give you, sorry?
The Raven Queen gave her a rock, and Reverie prayed on it, and it became a little statue of the Raven Queen. Reverie's going to try to do that on this big rock.
Okay. You reach out, you place your hand on this rock, and you pray. And as you pray, everything becomes tinged with grey. And the Raven Queen's presence becomes palpable to you. You are doing a very good job of spreading my name.
I am trying. I thought this place felt appropriate.
It is a place of death. It is very appropriate. I have a question to ask of you.
Hopefully I will have an answer.
You have entered into a partnership of sorts with someone with whom I am acquainted.
I suppose so, yes.
What are your intentions going forward with this person?
I suppose I am going to see where it takes me. I am in a position of figuring out my feelings. As long as they are not your enemy. Are they your enemy?
They are not my enemy, but I urge you to be careful. He means to squirrel you away to the Nine Hells.
Well, we will do our best to avoid that, as I don't think I could spread your name well there.
He has become rather infatuated with you. I would urge you to be very careful.
I will keep that in mind.
You have done a good word in... Sorry. You have done good work in spreading my name, and for that I seek to reward you. She takes a mask from the inside of her robes and hands it to you.
I take it.
With the mask there is a note. She says to you, the note is not for your eyes. The note is for the eyes of a craftsman of exceptional skill. Take it to him, and he will follow the instructions.
Okay. I think I know just the craftsman.
There is this sound of fluttering of soft wings, and she disappears.
Okay. I don't suppose I got the rock to turn into a statue.
It doesn't turn into a statue. What happens is, in the side of the rock, because it's quite large, in the side of the rock, it almost creates like a shrine carved into the rock.
That's perfect, actually. I would like to set, and Reverie going to kind of rub her hand and go, okay, this is a new one. I've never tried this before. Let's see where it goes. And I'm going to set this little shrine as my word of recall.
Okay, perfect.
And then I'm going to find something to very carefully wrap this mask.
In that case, I mean, fairly easily you can wrap it in a cloak or something like that you've got on you. Very, very easy to do.
And yeah, now I'm just going to spend my time praying here, I think.
Okay. I would now like to go to Eleiyon. Eleiyon, what would you like to do in the time before the ball?
I am literally just grabbing an outfit.
Okay.
Find something that's hopefully not the Bloodthorn place, although no one told me where it was, so it could be. That will sell clothes.
Let me just find my forming notebook. It has the name of all the shops.
Reverie didn't feel the need to tell you the name because it said Bloodthorn on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Lilygill, Bloodthorn. I feel like those would be on the signs, probably.
Yeah, they would be. Oh, sorry. Yes, they would be. Okay. So, the obvious ones to buy the nobility style clothing would be shops under the name of Lilygill or Bloodthorn.
Right.
However, there is another place.
Cool.
It looks very out of place. For one, it's a stone building. There's no other stone buildings in all of the Vardenvale. And as you approach it, there is a sign swinging in the front which tells you this shop is called the Dropped Stitch.
Cool.
It's a good name for a tailor shop.
I will push my way inside.
You head inside, and inside, Spring Eladrin Fairy. Spring Court Fairy.
Yeah.
Fluttering over a large loom, turning a wheel, and the fabric that's going in is turned into amazing things going out. It's not just like, oh, purple wool becomes purple thread. She's weaving things like metals into thread and stuff.
Very cool.
Before she turns, looks at you. Hello there, dear. What can I do for you today?
I'm afraid I'm ashamed to say I have a rather important event tonight, and I don't believe I have appropriate attire.
And what kind of attire would you be looking for? Singlet, doublet?
I'll pull out the like military style coat that we had from that I made for the human pie, the reversible. And I'll say, I got this last time, and it's wonderful craftsmanship, but well, the orange is my color, but I'm afraid it's too loud. So if you couldn't tell, I am from summer. So something that feels like home would be nice, but I would like it in black, which I know isn't normally your place's colors.
Of course. I can do black. It's not the usual colour I'd be doing for, spring types, but I can definitely do it.
As opposed to style, I am. Let's just say I want to make an impression, but I'm not quite sure what that entails, so I will leave that to your expertise.
I see elegance. and traditional stylistic approach to the aesthetic. And she draws up a sketch and holds it out to you. It's essentially a doublet with a coat on top. The coat comes down to about just behind the knees. Military breast pattern so that it has, it's almost like the golden ribbing. What do you think of this? Is this any good to you?
Don't get me wrong, it looks wonderful, but I was hoping for something a little more form-fitting.
Something that's a bit tighter to your body.
Like I said, I would like to impress.
That's just the idea. She takes the sketch away and she makes some quick adjustments. And what she makes you is, I don't know if you're familiar with the movies, the Sharp movies.
I have not seen them, no.
No, cool. I'll send you an image. Essentially what she's saying to you is, think Napoleonic War style uniform.
Mm-hmm.
All black, military ribbing, but it does come with one cape.
Yep.
Which falls over one shoulder. Incredibly tight and form-fitting jackets.
Mm-hmm. Much better.
Very well. Do you have any preference to materials?
I'm a big fan of silk or satin, but I did see that you are weaving stronger threads.
Ah, yes, my spindle can turn anything into thread.
I would be rather exposed without my armor, so something of that level of comfort would be nice.
Well, what kind of metal would you prefer to have? Iron, steel, bronze?
Steel, probably.
Steel. We can definitely do that for you. And when do you need this by?
I'm ashamed to say this evening.
Oh, so this would be a rush order.
Yes.
Okay. I can do this rush order for you. It will cost you, though.
That's fine.
Okay. Where am I charging the expenditure to?
Oh, it will be under the expense and pay of the newly crowned king and queen.
Sorry, forgive me a moment while I chew. Okay, so you're charging Kiernan and Sheila with the price for your clothes.
Yes.
She'll place her hands up and go, "Forgive me, my lord, I had no idea with whom I was discussing. Of course, I will ensure that this is charged to the palace."
That would be wonderful. Don't feel the need to use titles. I am only the friendly acquaintance of them. I'm not one that carries importance, but they have offered to pay for the garments for their entourage. So if you could also send it there as well, that would be fantastic.
As you wish, my lord. I will do that for you. And then she turns and immediately goes to picking out fabrics and lining them up to begin making your outfit.
Oh. Shit.
Forgive me just a little moment there, folks. Give me just a wee moment.
Fancy new threads
Yeah.
on royalty tab.
Okay. Eleiyon, with your clothes being ordered, she says that because it's being charged to the palace, she will have them delivered to the palace today.
Yep.
They'll collect payment when the clothes have been delivered.
Yeah. Perfect.
I do apologise for this, folks. I am going to have to cut the session a little bit early tonight. I've just had something come up. It's nothing major at all. Astrid has woken up from a sleep just as Amy is due to go down. That means I need to go and do the dad thing. So it does mean I do apologise, guys, very much so. I know this has never really happened before, but there's always been the fact that, as it's known, I am a stay-at-home dad, and whenever my wife does have work, if Astrid wakes up, I must take the parental role, and it just happens to be this is one of those nights where that has happened, guys, so I do apologise for that, but I am going to have to cut the session here tonight. I'm very sorry about that, folks. If you do like what you've seen, please do go and follow all of our social medias. The links are in there. Please go and follow my lovely cast. We usually do a round off where we plug things and I let my cast brag about the great things they do so they can go and have you follow them in these amazing places. For now, what I will do is I will drop all of their information into the chat, and if you want to go follow them, I implore you to do so. But I am going to have to wrap us very quickly there tonight, and I do apologise for that. We will be starting next session immediately with Arya. So I do apologise for that, guys. Thank you for coming to see us tonight. I have been your DM of Doom, Oops All Brands. With me today has been Just Harry, Patron of Chaos, and Khadij Al Kubra. And from all of us here at World Tree Quest, thank you for understanding. Good night, stay safe, be lovely, keep being lovely, and don't pull a finny. Good night, folks. Good night.